Well, hey everyone, it is Saturday, not Sunday. I'm a day early, but I was just so excited I couldn't wait another day. I have big news for me. So, you all know that I have been on this wait list for this market, and just the beginning of the month, I believe, they put out their new sign up for their next 6-month cycle. So I caught it, I think it was the 31st, July 31st. I caught that on the very first day. So I filled out my application, sent them my pictures, gave them the $10 application fee, and I just got an email yesterday that says I have been approved, and I got into 2 of the 6 markets. Unfortunately, or fortunately, because I have so many other ones lined up, not until January. So January 3rd and March 7th are my 2 dates, but I am still on the wait list in case there's a cancellation. I might get selected from the cancellations for the other, some of the other 4 months. So it would have been nice to get in before Christmas, but January, I'm not expecting a lot because it is right after Christmas. But the exciting part is I got my foot in the door and I'm going to get to set up at this, I am so excited. I couldn't even concentrate yesterday after I opened that email and read it. I am super excited about that. So, I didn't get a whole lot done, and I know y'all are laughing. I did not get a whole lot done this week because I spent Tuesday with Sue, and with Monday being a holiday, I had to make sure any outstanding orders were taken care of and sent out from my button shop. So it's been kind of like a little here, a little there, didn't really, except for one day. I did spend one day making a whole lot of one thing, but they were easy and fast. But anyhow, let's start. What did we make this week? All right, so I was still in the bird on a swing mood. So I did a couple of owls to go with the birds on a swing. Did a brown and a pink. And this is the swing that goes with the other bird patterns. I just made it 1 stitch wider. And the owl is a free pattern on Instagram. And it just looked like it would be the right size to go on the swings. So, owl on a swing. 2 of those. I got to, when I went to see Sue, she gave me a partial skein of the blue I needed to finish my squid. So I got my little squid finished. Because when I placed my yarn order, don't you know I forgot all about this blue? I have every shade but this one. So thank you, Sue, because you allowed me to finish my little squid. And I told you I had a blueberry turtle that I had started a while back, and I ran out of the darker blue, and all I needed was to trim around the shell and the little pucker part on the top. So I got to finish my blueberry turtle. So those were kind of like cheating. Like this only needed 3 tentacles. This just needed this trim and right here and to be stuffed and closed up. So those were like really quick to finish. So I got those. And then I was like, I don't know what I want to make. And I'm looking at my list and I'm just like, eh. This is hard because I like doing new patterns. I like to test out new patterns. So going back and looking at the list like, okay, I only have 1 of this, or I have 2 of these and I need to have a couple more, or it's hard. I have to be in the mood. So I had a subscriber that was confused with the pattern and how the legs were done. So I did a little video for her showing her how to do the legs, because the way she described it, it was exactly the same as a pattern I had just done, the way the legs were done. So it was a little cat, and it's supposed to be a keychain. I don't know where this pattern came from, so I can't tell you that. This was just helping her out to figure out how to do a couple of the rounds that were over-explained, so it made it seem really confusing. So I did that. And then I was like, well, looking at my list, and just kept looking at my list. And I'm like, I need another crab. Now, these are no-sew crabs, and it's an Instagram pattern, and I believe it is round 6 that is not complete. Like, they don't give you the information. You just keep going. So I made one red crab because I had a red crab before, but that's the one that sold. So I have a red, a blue, and a pink. So we have one crab. A lot of onesies right now. So then I made a white loaf cat to go in my last empty box that I had. So I got this little white loaf cat. And I did not change the ear on this one. On this pattern, she says if your ears aren't pointy, instead of the last stitch on the ear, instead of doing a double crochet, to do a triple. So that's what I did, and it made them nice little pointy ears. So, yep. One psychedelic eyed white loaf cat. And he fits just perfect in the little box. So we have that. I'm not even sure what order I did these in. So I'm just like, it's been a long week. So then I was looking through Etsy, and what was I looking for, and it came up? I don't even remember. But somebody had taken one of the puppy dog lovey patterns and did it in the colors to make it look like Bluey and Bingo. And I'm like, what a genius idea. I can't think of the shop's name. It wasn't a pattern. It was an already made plushie. So I'm like, I'm going to try that with that Mama Made Minis little dog pattern that I got when they ran the sale. So I tried to do a Bluey. So I think I got pretty close. I mean, I had to figure out like the color changes on my own, where they would go. He's got the sleepy eye. The spots on the back are a little too far apart. So, but doing it once, like gives me the idea of, all right, I need to move them. And yeah, but I think it turned out pretty cute. So I did a Bluey. And then it was so funny because it's like, oh, I have the dark blue, but I don't have the light. And then for Bingo, oh, I have the light, but I don't have the dark. So I thought. So I'm standing back looking at my yarn, and tucked way back in on the very bottom shelf, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have the color. And I want to say it was one of the Bernats. I can't remember if it was baby or regular, but it was terracotta. And it looks more like terracotta than like Michael's The Home Slim terracotta. It looks brown. This is more like that clay pot look. So I did a Bingo. So that's the terracotta. This is melon, I think. So again, sleepy eye. And this one I think I did a little better on the spots. This needs to probably come over one more stitch so that they don't touch. but I did better on that. So that was the closest I could get to colors for bingo. But I think they both turned out pretty good. So Bluey and Bingo lovies. Those work up pretty quick. Oh, yes. And yesterday, Jenna goes, and she was up in town, so she checked P.O. Box for me. And I actually had a package from a very nice person from British Columbia. Her name is Terry. And she sent me 3 crochet hooks that she does not use. 2 of them are 9mm and different brands, and one was an 8mm metal hook. And it's a Susan Bates, I think it said on it. But the 8mm, I might be able to put to use, because these patterns, you're supposed to do a 7mm on the head and then an 8mm on the body. So if I put like a pencil grip on it to make that handle a little thicker, I'm going to test it out on the next, because I still have one more of the patterns that I bought that I didn't do yet. So I'm going to test that out. So then I spent Thursday, because today's Saturday, Thursday. I spent my day Thursday. I'm like, what do I want to make? I don't know. I said, well, I ordered all these, a big package of hair ties to make scrunchies with, and I have scrunchies, but I wasn't happy with my scrunchies. They weren't like big and fluffy, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Why don't they come out big and fluffy? Well, when I do double crochet, I have short, kind of squatty double crochets for some reason. I don't know why, but I do. And so I decided we're going to do a triple crochet, but we're also going to do a single crochet around the band first and then go back in and do triple crochets. And I think I've seen a couple of other YouTubers do it this way. I think Crochet by Kelsey does it this way as well. Crochet by Kelsey. Passionate Kelsey. Excuse me. I'm like, woo, out there with names. Anyhow, so I had some Bernat velvet. I have 7 colors, and I have 1 color I didn't do yet. But I did 3 of each of the colors that I have, but the one. So we have a mustard. Oh, and I ordered these little tags. It's a printable PDF file off of Etsy. And then I just added there's a blank spot up here where you can like stamp your logo or whatever, but I don't have stamp. So I just added it to it and printed it out. The only sucky part is you have to cut it all out. But my idea was I had ordered these S-clips that have this little clip on the bottom for something else. And then this part was smaller than I expected. So the idea is to clip these and use the S-hook in the wire cube shelving as like a grid wall and hang them from the side so that it has like its own display instead of just sitting in a basket on the table. So that's the idea. So I have 3 mustard and 3 of this very pretty dark green. And these are like fall and winter colors. But that's when the markets are. So I have the green. And this one is pomegranate. So I have these. And these are much fluffier. I'm much happier with the way these were done versus my other ones. They just didn't seem like they had much oomph to them. So 3 pomegranate. And then 3 black. I do like the tags. 3 black, 3 of this very pretty gray. I like the gray color. And 3 white. The last color that I have, that I haven't made yet, I'll probably do them today, maybe, is red. It's just called red. But I was so bad. Oh my gosh. I need help, you guys. I went on Hirschner's and I did an order because they had a $5 coupon and I think it was 99-cent shipping. So I went on Hirschner's and they had the Premier Basics Chenille on sale. So I ordered a bunch of those. Now I've tried that before, but I only have a few colors. So I looked through what they had available and I did onesies just to try it. So that's going to show up. And I'm looking, I'm like, I need to get on the ball and use some of this yarn so I have a place to put that. Stop playing around, get some of these skeins used up. And then, because of my color choices on the velvet yarn, I went on Joann's and they had Juicy Couture on sale for $5.99 a skein. Plus I had a $5 coupon. Plus, if you hit a certain amount, which I did not, you could get an additional 10%. Then the next amount would be 20% and so on. But I didn't hit that amount. So I ordered several colors of the Juicy Couture Velvet so that I could have not all dark colors. And that one doesn't have the yardage that Bernat has. So I can use up a skein in like just making, I don't know how many I'll get out of it, but probably if I get 3 out of it, I'll be happy. And the skein will be gone because it's only like 107 yards. So I spent one day doing that and then making the little tags and cutting them out and then attaching them. And I just used my hot glue, Gator glue, hot glue to put them together. We'll see how it holds up. So, I was chatting with Heather, and she's been doing this new turtle pattern. So I was asking her what pattern she used, and it's Myrtle the Turtle from Meg Makes, I believe. And she's showing me the turtle, and I'm just the shape of it and everything. I was like, oh, you know who that looks like? That looks like Squirt, you know, the baby turtle from Finding Nemo. And so then I Googled Squirt and showed her a picture of what Squirt looked like. I'm like, you need to do the shell brown and, you know, the body of green. And then, I don't know, it's like a brownish, reddish brown, orangish brown. Anyways, I thought it was a cute pattern. Now, I don't have the eyes to do it because he's got like really big eyes. But looking at that, he had spots on his fins and on his head and stuff. So that gave me an idea just to kind of spice up the turtles a little bit. So this one was my first try. And I used the safety eyes. And for some reason, I felt like, did I put his head on upside down? The eyes didn't seem like they were in the right spot to me. I mean, Heather says they look okay, but I don't know. It just didn't, something wasn't right. And I had a heck of a time crocheting the fins in the way the pattern said to crochet them in. So this is the only one that happened on. But I gave it the little spots on the fins and on his head. And I think it just adds a little bit, maybe. Hopefully doesn't add too much. But I kind of like it. So I did that one. And so it was starting to get late. And I'd started another one. And I was pulling colors out of my basket where all my partial skeins are. And my little scraps. And there was a pink in there. So I pulled it out. And I thought for sure, I just knew for sure it was going to be enough. It wasn't. So I did this pink one. And I'm not sure the color name because I don't have any more. I have every shade of pink, but this one, I don't have it anymore. It's not the ballet pink because the ballet pink was feeling really rough. So there's that. And I think this is berry, something berry. But I think, and then I did embroidered eyes on this one. But instead of the bottom of the belly being pink, it had to stay the same color as the top of the shell because I ran out of pink. What can you do? So there's that one. And I like to sit there and you can tuck their little front fins in and they sit on the table like that. The next one looks better. So then I was looking through my scrap bin and I'm like, this one turned out a little bit smaller. Well, maybe not. It's about the same. But I wanted to see what a turtle looked like with a smile. So I did this one. And I don't know. I have a hard time doing the longer eyes. So like from a profile, he kind of looks mad, I think. But again, I gave this one the little spots. I like that. And this one's cute. But he sits there and you fold up his little front fins and he just sits on the table and just kind of smiles at you. So I don't know. What do you think? Smile, yes or no? If it's yes, then I need to go back and add smiles to these other two that are the same size because I only did 3. Yes or no? I mean, because I've never put a mouth on a turtle before. But it just looked like, it looked like it needed one. I don't know. Then I thought, well, that's they're small, Can I make it small enough to put it on a keychain? So I pulled out the Premier Basics Just Chenille, the Dollar Tree yarn. And don't exactly have the right colors. Like I don't have a gray. I was looking for a gray. And I had a tiny little bit of green because, I had to mess with the yarn and make a corn on the cob. So I only have a little bit of green. So I was going to use pink and a darker pink. And then I was like, no, I want a little green on it. So I did the top part of the shell because that uses the least amount of yarn in the green. So I think that I got this one small enough to go on a keychain. In comparison, it's quite a bit smaller. Now, if I did acrylic, I might get a little bit smaller. I would definitely have more color choices. Let's see, do it next to this one. So I think that's a good size for a keychain. I have had people ask before for turtle keychains. Now I could put my little Scrapbuster turtle on it, but I like to see turtles better. And I know it's not about what I like. It's what will the customers like. But yeah, so this is going to go on a keychain. And like I was saying, I haven't done any keychains in a while. So it was kind of fun to sit there and do a keychain. So I have 4 or 5 things now that I need to put on the keychains on it, to put all the hardware on. And that is all I have been up to for the week. Yep, not very much. I mean, scrunchies, there's a lot of scrunchies there. There's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 scrunchies. And I did those in one day. But you're talking like 20 minutes to make a scrunchie. Start to finish. Yep, I've just got to keep looking at my list and seeing what I'm going to make. And then I'm looking at the weather this morning. And they're watching 3 different tropical disturbances. And, not real closely, but 3 areas that could develop. I think one was near Texas, and one was down low, and then one further out in the Atlantic. But September is the most busy, the most active month for hurricane season. And they're saying, oh, well, we'll know more in about 10 days. And I'm like, ugh, Please don't mess up my September 20th market. That's why I last year didn't sign up for any in September. I waited for November to do one because I was so paranoid about the weather and the heat. So everybody, keep your fingers crossed. We don't need any more hurricanes down here. Texas don't need no more hurricanes. Nobody needs any more hurricanes making landfall. So, yeah, I'm going to stop checking the news. Anywho, I'm going to go. And, yeah, it was a day early. So, I just couldn't wait to tell you my good news. All right, I will see you guys in the next video.